Shut up and sit down.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Nerdsplaning Podcast. I'm your host, Eric Da Silva. With me, as always, is my co-host, Jose Romero.
Nerd Thursday is back and better than ever.
The week in geek, my friends. Me and Jose here once again, telling you all about the stuff that's happening. We thought it was going to be a slow news day, but just because there's not a lot of stuff to talk about, there's a lot of stuff to talk about the few things that happened. There's a lot of stuff going on here.
And I do want to say we were not cut by David Zaslav, so we're happy to hear that
we
here at the
we survived.
We made it, for the time being. So it's very, very excited. We're not in the chopping block unlike many others, but we'll get to that later.
Apparently, they liked all the ideas that we've pitched, and they're like, you know what, you guys get to stay. You get to keep explaining to everybody what we're doing, which, trust me, on a business sense, there's a lot of explanation that needs to be had. That's
a whole lot of stuff going on. But yeah, we'll definitely touch upon Warner Brothers DC because we even got some late news on that, which I didn't get the prep for, but I'll bring it up in a moment.
Fine.
But that being said, a couple of movies I guess I know we wanted to discuss that came out with the last...
Some of them is because a certain somebody was lucky enough to see these.
Well, yeah. Well, Gray Man, everybody saw it. Also Netflix. Let's just call it, which we'll talk about first. Let's talk about Gray Man. It's the Russo brothers, friends of the nerd community, right?
Oh, man.
Right, I mean, but they haven't really done much outside the nerd movie verse, if you will.
Well, they do this really weird thing where they continue to work with everyone they met while making Marvel movies.
I know, right? It's like, sure, break away. Or just do it in Marvel because that's when they're at their best. I get that great source material, so I guess it's easy. But The Gray Man, this is an action flick on Netflix, and it's Netflix. So, buyer beware.
Listen,
buyer beware anything Netflix. I'm not saying it's all bad because I have my pie. I got my 10% Netflix great movies, right? There are some that happens. 40, 50% of just watchable.
Stuff.
Whatever.
Just stuff that's watchable.
Another 30, 40, just fucking
background
crap.
stuff.
Or just crap, right?
That's
usually how it breaks out.
Stuff that's on while you're cleaning the house.
Right, not even. The 40% is just like unwatchable shit. But that middle 50 is like, watchable, entertaining, whatever. Gray Man for me falls in that. Okay, it's watchable. 40-50% range for me.
Gray Man is Born Identity if he was a Marvel character.
Yeah,
that's the way.
That's fair. Yeah.
It's there's tons of witty banter. There's like a sort of a lightness to it. It hints to the darkness, but it doesn't really wallow in it.
Nope.
All the characters are either insanely likable or insanely face punchable, and both are valid. Like there is no it's do I think that everyone should be clever funny? No, but in a Marvel movie, everybody's clever funny, and this is what it feels like. I mean, there's some great action sequences.
There are some. I'll give you that.
There were some people who were like, oh, that whole parachute escape scene, that was a CG mess. I was like, yeah, you're right.
It kind of was. It was. Let's be fair.
And
it was
the last minute of it, but everything leading to that last minute was tons of fun. I loved I'm a big sucker for the Born Identity. I like early a Casino Royale, James Bond, with its very visceral fighting. I like the fact that they did this. They didn't go over the top. Like they didn't make Ryan Gosling like a Winter Soldier level badass, but very practical, like almost like if you had to compare fighting styles to Marvel movies, I very much Black Widow in that world, where you can really kind of be able to keep where she's a badass, but she can still take hits, but she's so focused on the job that's what makes her such an efficient operative. And that's very much where he comes up with. A lot of guys are like, they're doing a gig, but they're still having their own opinions showing how he was recruited from the jail to the position. And he's clearly under contract. He's not a work for hire guy. He's very much dedicated. Like, this is the life. I do this because this is how I was trained to do it. So that's what makes him better than everybody else. I like the idea. Someone was pointing out to me that he's in a jail in Florida in the beginning. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, cool, because if anybody deserves a second chance, it's a guy who committed a crime in Florida, because there is a lot of I made a mistake, guys. I made a mistake, and Ryan Gosling. I'll tell you what the biggest stretch of the whole movie is that Ryan Gosling has been in jail since he was 15, and he has highlights. That that
That's
is
a fair
more
point. That's a fair
that
good
is more of
catch.
an exaggeration than the whole airplane scene. I'm like, you got highlights in jail in
Yeah,
Florida?
you're right. Good call.
I
I
don't
didn't even think about it. It's a good call. But you're right.
see
That would never
that
would happen.
that to me
He would have
is
gotten
where
killed
my
before that.
extension of disbelief stopped. As a Florida person, I'm like, no, I'm gonna say no to that, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, and it's funny because I mean, this movie was expensive. It's like $200 million, and I just did not see that in this film. I really didn't.
I kind of felt
And it doesn't need to be $200 million. These kind of
when
films
I
don't have
found
to be
out
that
the
much.
price tag, I literally thought it's like Jupiter Rising. Remember that TV series, Jupiter Rising,
Oh,
where it's like the most
Legacy, whatever.
expensive
Jupiter's Legacy.
super,
Yeah.
and it like it felt so cheap. How did it spend 200,000 on 8 episodes? So seeing when they heard like that movie looked like it should be 150,000. 150, maybe 125,000, but in
Yeah.
that range, nowhere 225,
Yeah, it's
250.
true.
That's crazy.
It's great. And that's what I'm saying. Especially for these kind of, that's what kind of irks me, right? Which like, because John Wick, I don't compare to John Wick, right? Just because when action film, heavy action, obviously hand to hand combat. Like the last one was they made it for 80. The first one for like 20, $30 million. You don't need to
Right.
fucking spend $20 million on an action film like this. You don't. Marvel, yes, I get it. DC, obviously, or some big sci-fi film, naturally, but you don't need to spend $100 million. You can do action with
You can
stuntmen, good
really
camera work.
you can really tell that most of that money went to the big fight scene in Vienna in that public square fight
Oh,
with the
with the train,
trolley.
unnecessary, but yeah, yeah, a lot of it did, and
That's
maybe the
I mean you
ending.
see and what in all in a lot you could tell that was a lot of money. Like they went
Of
all
course,
out.
yeah.
But here's the thing about that: it didn't need to be that big.
No, of
Like
course not. Yeah,
you could have done that in a smaller scale, still had the same impact and that kinetic craziness,
absolutely. Yeah,
but it was extravagant.
yeah.
But once again, the Russo brothers come in with the clout. They're bringing in Ryan Gosling. They're bringing in Chris Evans. They're bringing in the dude from Bridgerton. You're having all these people like
Bad Santa.
Bad Santa. Yeah, you got
Come on.
everyone there. And let's be honest, as expensive as some of those action sequences were, the Russo brothers came in and gave everyone big fat checks to be in this movie
Well,
too,
Netflix did or
which is,
whatever, but yeah, it's
you know,
just
it's
it's
like, hey guys, here's your second pool in your third house.
yeah,
That is
yeah. It
what
was
those
too
that
much. Yeah, when I hear
that
two
was
minutes,
a,
I expect
that was a
more.
lot.
Yeah, I expect
That
more
movie
than what
should
we
have
got.
been like 125,
Nah, a
150, and you would have
hundred.
been golden.
Yeah,
I'll tell you how you could have saved a lot of money too. Stop. Don't do end credit scenes like a Marvel movie where everything is a statue of a scene you saw in the movie. Like I was watching, I was like, okay, I've seen this in like 9 Marvel movies, and this is a movie that didn't need that as your end credit. You could have saved a bunch of money,
they could
but
have
you
saved
wanted
money
to
a
be like,
lot of places.
we're
Yeah,
doing it. Like I was actually more mad that, or I'm sorry, I was more mad. Yeah, I was madder that after seeing that whole credit sequence, there wasn't even a post-credit scene. I mean, if you're gonna ape everything Marvel, then give us a
you might as
post-credit
well should have
scene.
just Thanos in the end for Christ's sake.
Yeah, seriously,
But they
something.
did announce that. I guess it's done well for him. Like I said, it's not a bad movie. It's watchable.
It's
Whatever.
not.
There's moments.
I would say it's not even
Yeah,
watchable. It's a fun movie.
it's just
It's
watchable.
not great.
It's not
It's
great.
not going to be like this is
No,
my top 10
it's
pick
in
of the
line with
year.
like things like Red Notice and stuff like that. That kind of genre,
Yeah,
Extraction.
yeah.
They're fine, they're good, entertaining. But Netflix did announce that they're gonna do a sequel or prequel. I forget which one. I think it was a sequel.
I heard it's both.
Um,
One
one
sequel, one
sequel. I
prequel.
guess they're doing like a shared universe or whatever you want to call it these days. Whatever. That's fine. I can live with it. But I
Here's what
mean,
it is.
they need to
If
tone it down.
this
They need to listen to even Born Identity, Bond. They're not that as well, maybe Bond may be more expensive, but Born Identity was
I'm really
simple, right?
hoping,
Simple.
I'm really hoping that since this movie is called The Gray Man, like the sequels aren't White Man and Black Man, because then it's going to be complicated. It's going to be very much like, ooh, I don't even know how to approach this as a keep it gray, maybe other colors, just not black and
Well,
white.
just one color, dude. Let's just keep it. But yeah, I get a decent effort. It's Netflix. It's fine. It's fine. The other one hasn't come out yet. I did get a chance to see this one. You a little too early. Got a chance, a nice early screen here in Miami, with Dave Franco and Jamie Foxx present there, and we got a chance to talk to them. We got some food, wine and dine. It was nice, very nice event. Day Shift, which comes out the 12th. Yeah, a vampire hunter film. And like I
With
said,
Snoop Dogg.
with Snoop. I
Snoop
can't
Dogg.
forget Snoop. He wasn't there that night, but I was hoping to see Snoop that night because I was told that some of the stars were going to be. I'm like, oh, let it be Snoop. He wasn't there, bastard. But you listen, like I said, when Nazis, zombies, or vampires get the comeuppance, I'm all in, right? You got me. You got
All
my
in.
money, right? This is free. So,
All in.
you know what I'm saying. So I'll say this. I'll share a funny story before I get to that. So after the movie, whatever, a friend of mine, he was in a very uncomfortable position because we were talking around. We got the chance to meet Franco on Fox, and he's talking. Hey, you like the movie a lot. I lied and said that was okay. Sorry, guys. But it's my friend that's talking, and he tells he's a very excitable guy. So he tells Fox, "Oh man, you should have been Blade for obvious reasons, because it's a vampire movie." He's like,
Sure.
and Franco's like, "Well, why? Because he's black." And my friend just looking at his face like, "Oh shit!" And I knew Franco was joking. I had a feeling he was
Yeah.
joking. I'm kind of like, I didn't want to say. He's like, "Do I laugh here? I don't know." Like my friend's like, "No, no, 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 no," and I was like, "No, I'm just playing, just playing. I don't mean it." And Fox, yeah, he's just messing with you, man. I get it, whatever. So I told Franco, "Hey, don't worry. I think you should be Wolverine." And then he's like, "Why? Cause I'm white." And then I was like, "No, because you're little." And Jamie Foxx like, "Yeah, that's true." And he starts laughing.
See?
He's like, all right, you got me.
Good.
It's like,
Good.
I got your back, dude. But that was cool. But they're really cool. They're really nice. It was actually a good event. But the movie itself, I wish was better than the event was. Yeah, dude, God. This is a bad Netflix film, but there's still, I'll be fair, there's some fun to be had. Because when they're
Okay.
killing vampires, which is what you really shouldn't give a fuck about, right? Let's be honest.
Really. That's what you're going for.
That's what you're going for. If you want anything else, don't bother watching. I tell you right now, because it's dumb, it's stupid, that shit doesn't make any sense, and this could be really, really cool. But the action stuff is cool. There's not a lot of it as much as I want it to be, but it's cool. So it's done really well.
I mean, listen.
When they're fighting, there's a beginning scene which is great. It's like an old lady, and he's in a house, and she ends up being a vampire, and she's fucking kicking ass. And they're contorting in a certain way when they fight, and like they slam them down, the body kind of slams in half, and they flip around all fours and get up. It's really cool how they do it. Even in that same scene, go to a mirror when they're fighting, and they go to the mirror, it's Jamie Foxx fighting her clothes only. Very cool touch.
That's cool.
That was
That's
right.
cool.
It was in the clothes.
Right.
You can see the woman. That was shit. That was really cool. I had a lot of cool scenes like that.
I mean,
But damn.
Jose, let's be honest.
Ugh.
The minute I saw Snoop Dogg in a cowboy hat and a Gatling gun, no part of me thought, "Oh, I wonder what the acting caliber is going to be." It's going to be over the top bananas, and that's what I want.
But
Sometimes
it
you want
wasn't
to
as
see.
it wasn't as over the top as I wish it would have been, which is kind of like one of my issues.
So,
It's like they stay in the middle, like they didn't go like balls to the wall, just nutty. Which I thought this film would have worked, or
Right.
gotten really interesting, which they could have done. Because they introduced a lot of cool shit. They have this like this. It's called the Union, which is this vampire, the hunters
Right.
club, whatever. And Jamie Foxx was kicked out a long time ago because he can't follow the rules. He got back in, whatever. Cool organization. They get paid because they collect the fangs, not so they get money.
Nice.
The older the vampire or the more dangerous or whatever, the more money the fangs are worth, for example. That part was cool, but they gave just a little bit of it. They didn't go deep into that world, which would have been really cool. Just kind of introduce it, and then done
It
with
kind of sounds
You know?
like to me.
It could have been like a Men in
What you're
Black
saying,
kind of deal.
I would say even more like Dusk Till Dawn, where the movie only hints at a bigger mythology, but you're only getting this one night or
Right,
this
and they
one
hint at,
story.
and it's even the bad guy, right? She's, she does real estate. She's buying all this land to put all the vampires in, right? And there's, I guess, it's all inferred or mentioned. There's a faction of the vampire world, whatever the higher ups, I don't know, whatever you want to call them. They don't really refer to them that way, but that don't approve it. So there's some kind of conflict in there, but they don't even talk about it. They mention it once, they don't even. It's like it might as well not even mention what was the point. That would have been cool too. Almost
Right.
like what Blade did with Stephen Dorff's character and
Right.
the old elders or whatever they call them. But they do none of that. Just introduce it and just let it loose. It's just about these two guys, Frank and this guy, just not being funny. They're not being funny. They try, and like no one in the theater was laughing. It was pretty embarrassing, to be honest with you.
Ooh, that's a bummer.
Yes,
Especially
like,
with
sometimes
especially
people
with
laugh,
Jamie
and even if I
Foxx.
don't, or vice
And
versa.
if anything, your story sounded so entertaining. I thought, oh, they probably built that dynamic with each other from being in the movie, and apparently the movie is not even
They
able to carry.
attempted. I'll give you that because they're on screen a lot together. It just doesn't
Right.
work. It's not funny. It's just like, but the action's cool. So whatever. This is one I say. Listen, you're on your phone, and when they're not fighting, look on your phone, do your shit. The action starts. Oh, cool. Okay. and back down again. That's exactly what this is.
I'll do you one better. Are you home alone and inebriated? Maybe after a good workout, or you're just like after you just want to zone off, and you put that on. I think that would be an entertaining
If
movie
you
to
have
watch too.
a few brewskis, a little a little something to feel like glaucoma,
Uh huh.
absolutely, I think that would be more enjoyable. I mean, most movies are. Let's just keep it real.
I mean, yeah.
But let's be honest. But a movie like this would definitely that extra little something. If you
You got to put some of that special sauce on
you
it,
put a
and
little
then
sauce, and you're gonna
oh,
enjoy it a lot more than I did. Like it's
perfect.
not the worst thing I've ever seen. That's not, but I mean it's
Uh,
just not a good film.
I'll ask you this question here. Gray Man, Day Shift. Which one was a better movie in your opinion?
Oh, great man.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, and it's
Cool.
not even close. It's not
All
even
right.
close. But
Good
yeah,
to know.
but again, if you just want to see vampire, there's some cool like deaths and shit, because that's what you want to see. Let's be honest, that's what.
You're going there for the
Yeah, because
action.
if that sucked, this
Absolutely.
movie would have been a fucking disaster, right?
Right.
At least it had that going for it.
Sure.
Okay, I can live with that, right?
Right.
But yeah, Great Man's a way better film, and it's not like we were raving over Great Man to begin with.
Right.
I liked it, but let's not get crazy. So yeah, but yeah, get a little smoke it up.
Cool.
Yeah, enjoy it. Like a lot of smoking,
Right.
or a lot of drink or
Like
whatever your
two,
cup of tea is.
two or three bowls worth, and you're good.
And yeah,
You're not
whatever it takes for you to kind of get yourself in that mode. Like you've seen something shitty, but you can have fun with it. And there you go.
Looking forward to it later this month.
There you go. A couple weeks. I think it's next week, the 12th, whenever that is. But either way, so let's move on to the DC stuff. There's a whole lot.
Sure.
I don't know where to start, to be honest with you. So actually, let's start with this because I want to talk about the 70% thing you alluded to earlier.
Yeah, man.
And this new drop, for those who haven't heard, basically, you know, Zazoff going to lay off 70% of the workforce from the HBO Max division or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
I know yesterday I got a couple of texts and I was like, oh, HBO's going away and all this other shit and whatever. Like the sky's falling. And I say it right now. There is not an ounce of concern that should be anybody but the people getting laid off. And let's be honest.
Yeah.
When you merge, that happens in business. Unfortunately, right? I get it sucks, but it will not affect business as we see it. They're not gonna terminate shows. There's no plan to terminate any shows. HBO Max is going. That's not what's going on. A lot of people are confused, and I get it because a lot of people just read headlines. All right. Oh my God, it's over. HBO Max is done. Calm down. The problem is this is what I love Zaslav. He's a smart motherfucker. We talked about it before, right?
Yeah.
He's like he ain't taking no shortcuts. He wants to do it the right way. He's a businessman. So he mentioned months ago that they were gonna merge, Discovery, the streaming with HBO.
Streaming, right?
Duh, why not? That's the Warner Bros. Discovery. It's what they are.
Same company, might as well, right?
And after they make all that merge and all that stuff, they were gonna save $3 billion a year. $3 billion a year. And that's not just by the 70% of the workforce. That's probably a fraction of that's because
Sure.
Streaming both services, combining resources and all that, you save tons of money.
Absolutely.
Duh, it makes sense. Secondly, AT&T ran this shit like morons because they had and I talked about this when they first released HBO Max, on the show, where it was confusing because they still had HBO, right? They still had on HBO Go. HBO something another one, and then HBO Max, and I was like, why they have 4 of these? It's confusing as fuck. They should have just consolidated from the get go. It's all
Absolutely
HBO Max, so rebranding. Okay, but they didn't do it. It was really weird. And what happens? They kept separate divisions. So there's people doing the same job titles from HBO streaming or whatever they're calling HBO, the cable version, whatever, and HBO Max, for example. So yeah, cut the fat, combine it. It's not a big deal. Nothing's going on more than that. They're not making cuts. I know we're talking some movies getting cut, but that's more for cost-saving reasons, and we'll get into that in a second. But yeah, it's just like, listen, this guy's a smart guy. He's a businessman. He knows what he's doing, and he made some comments earlier, which I'll get to about that. They had their shareholders meeting today, and they talked about, I mentioned it now, they talked about DC, in particular. And I guess they didn't specify exactly his plan, but he came out and pretty much said that they have a 10-year plan being developed, a team that's going to head a 10-year plan, kind of like what Marvel does, for DC anyway. That's a good thing, right? Not a bad thing, right? And he's talking about, let's just quote, we're not going to release any film before it's ready. We're not going to release a film to make a quarter. That happened to a Justice League back to make the bonus back.
Yeah.
We're not going to release the film. The focus is going to be how we make each of these films in general as good as possible. And when we get to Batgirl, I'll jump ahead. He talked about he's concerned about the brand. right? He wants to be sure.
Right.
He's smart. He's looking at the bit down the road. He can listen. You can release movies now and shit movies and make some money. Even Batgirl.
Hmm.
But if it's gonna ruin the brand, is that the wise decision? DC's already
Is
gone through.
that
Yeah,
worth it?
it's
Right.
DC's already gone through shit. Maybe we can talk for hours about the mishandling of
Uh
that.
huh.
Beginning with Snyder, et cetera, et cetera. He's smart. Do it the right way. If you got to make cuts, so be it. He brought in Alan Horn, who used to run Warner Bros. From '99 to like early 2010s. He was there for the Harry Potter days, the Batman
The
trilogy.
Matrix
He
days.
knows what he's doing, right?
Yeah.
He's one of the best in the business. He went over to Marvel, Disney, anyway, Disney. Him and Bob Iger, they kind of shepherded the MCU. They, Feige's talked about how Alan Horn kind of mentored him into being who he is now. So Alan
Right.
Horn knows what he's doing. So David Zaslav brought him in. He knows movies. Zaslav doesn't know movies. Smart guy.
Right.
He's not doing
As
it.
he says, obviously said, he goes, I need to get a Feige. I'm not
Or
Feige.
somebody,
I
right?
need to get a
Yeah,
Feige.
and Alan Horn will be there
Right.
to kind of for only a couple of years because he is 77, but probably there to kind of set the table, get things in motion, and he'll probably hand it off to someone who is able to do it.
Absolutely.
And which will trust what Alan Horn does and who doesn't. Zazav does, and so yeah, it looks everybody's panicking. Oh my God, it's 70%. Oh, it's not a big deal. I mean, it sucks for them. No, I don't want to see
Listen,
them lose their jobs. Right?
Zaslav, we were talking about this earlier before we started recording. Zaslav is essentially being like the Kylo Ren of corporate structure. Forget the past, kill it if you have to. We're gonna start this from the ground up.
Yeah, and that's the way. Look, he's a smart guy. That's the way it's done. He was incredibly profitable with Discovery, and with minimal resource, not the resources that Warner Bros. Has, and I guarantee you that, right? Or the properties or IPs that Warner Bros. Has in the stable, obviously. And he loves. You see, he's been talking about making sure we put. They talk about today putting Wonder Woman, Batman, and Superman, for Christ's sake, in the forefront, which they should have been doing years ago.
Thank you. Remember
Right?
we talked about they were like,
God.
oh, we're gonna do Batgirl and Supergirl. We're like, why?
Yeah.
Why not just do Batman,
Yeah,
Superman?
where's fucking Superman, right? That's the crown jewel along with Batman of any superhero genre. Those are the two big. What the fuck is he big? We got Man of Steel in 2009. What the fuck?
And never
part
a
two or
proper
whatever.
sequel since.
Right, or where?
Like
And
how
and Zazo's right. Where's Superman? Yes.
look, now that we're Superman, where's Superman's rogues gallery? Like all we've ever had is Luthor and
And Zod.
Zod, and that's
For the
it.
most-
We
we did
barely
get
had
Nuclear Man. I forget.
Listen,
Forget about that one, but just
get
saying.
get me a Brainiac, get me a Metallo, get me a Parasite, get me hell, give me a Livewire. Like there's so many
Bizarro,
cool
for Christ's sake. I mean, whatever.
Bizarro. And Bizarro is such an easy go-to, especially with Lex Luthor. He tries to clone a Kryptonian. It goes sideways. Boom, Bizarro.
Right.
That's it.
I mean, listen, and Superman, he's the guy. If except from the guy, if you can't get him right, you can't get this whole. If they're planning to do Justice League, which I'm sure that's in the works, I assume that's in the works at some point. You need Superman. I don't give a fuck. You need him and need Batman. Anyone else is expendable, as far as I know. So you want to add Wonder Woman? Fair enough. I get it. But everyone else,
For comic book
whatever.
accuracy, I gotta advocate for Wonder Woman.
Listen,
And I remember
she's been one of the better characters, so you got to bring her in, obviously.
The first Wonder Woman was actually a lot of fun.
It was really good.
The first
It was
Wonder Woman was
really
a lot
good.
of fun.
Really good.
Yeah.
So yeah, you have to. I get it, but I'm saying everyone else. I don't care who you put in there. Mix and match. Who gives a fuck?
Uh-huh.
Well, not the Wonder Twins for obvious reasons.
Obviously.
But that means but that's the way you should do it. 10-year plan. Not he's thinking the way that they should have been thinking about it 10 years ago when they first came up with this disaster that we got.
Uh-huh.
So plan in place might take a little time. He talked about he's seen Shazam and he saw Black Adam, seen the Flash, said they were really good. But he also said we could do better. So I'm not sure what to make of that. That or he's just very particular, which again, that's not a bad thing, right? He wants to put up a good product.
Listen, if you're saying, hey, I saw this movie and it's a solid B plus, but that could be an A.
That's a good way to look at it. That's a good approach.
Thing.
Saying, listen, we're gonna put up quality shit. Because you put quality stuff, people are gonna watch it, and you're gonna make money. It's not rocket science, right? It's not a race to finish. Let's just do Avengers and do. I gotta hit the quarters and the quarters ending my bone and all that nonsense and re-editing and whatever the fuck it is. Get quality people and yeah, release. And you can tell he really is putting his hand in the pulse of DC. We're not releasing subpar work, and that's exactly what we need to hear, right? Whether it works or not, we'll find out.
Did he, since they canceled Batgirl,
which we'll get into now. Yes.
do you think they also are going to cancel the Flash?
That's interesting because it's two totally different scenarios. Because I'll say this, and which brings us to the Batgirl, right? Obviously, the news that I was surprised as fuck when I heard it. I was like, "Wait,
Yeah, caught
what?"
me completely.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
was like, "What?" I okay, did not see that coming. And my first thought was, why not fucking just release it, make money? We mentioned the other movies,
yeah,
or put it on HBO Max. That was the intention anyway. And then as I heard what was going on, I'm like, okay, well, that's why Zaslav is who he is and we are who we are.
sure.
So I'm like, okay, so yeah, so it got canceled. And there's been a lot of mixed reports about this, and I've been digging deep, right? And we're just not looking at headlines. And I guess there's reports that test screenings didn't go well, and there's controversy of other ones that said they didn't go as bad as they were saying. So this kind of conflicting and all that. I did reach out to someone, one of hers. He didn't see it, but a couple people he said did see it, and it's mixed. One was like it's really really bad. The other one's like it's decent. So I don't know what to make of that. But
Both of those aren't stellar
then
reviews.
that's stellar, right? But I think it was a $7 million project, and they were trying to juice it up to make it more of a theatrical feel look to for the movie. So I had to pump in
Mhm.
extra money. What's the point? Let's cut our losses, take the tax deduction at the end of the year, because again, he wants to release quality, and he said this movie
Right.
was didn't have the big theatrical feel that he wants, which is fair, makes sense because
Fair.
that movie was being made for
Supposed to
HBO
be
Max, right?
for right.
HBO Max, you're
Absolutely
not
fair.
bringing the 18 in production. This is beyond. You're not
Right.
a $70 million budget for a superhero film is kind of light, right?
It's very
Very
light.
light.
Like it's light in 2022. It would be think of this. Remember, Deadpool was 90 million.
Mhm. Yeah, around there, something like that. Yeah,
So
but
exactly. So
they
you
pulled up.
could
But again,
do you could do
that had
some,
18
but that's still
theatrical.
90 off the jump.
No,
You know.
right, and the production. So he's like, and he said it was too. I forgot the exact word he used, but it was. I'll paraphrase. It was too good to be on HBO Max. So it's kind of between. So he's like, it's not worth putting HBO Max. It's too good for something like that, and but it's not good enough for the theaters either. So what I told him to do
Ah,
is,
I see.
yeah. So he's like in between. He's like to fix it, it'd be too much money. Boom to the exit. But you know what? I get it. See, that's a good explanation. That makes sense. If it's not good, like what we talk about, if it's not good enough, if it's gonna be subpar, don't release it. Don't fuck up the brand we're trying to build. I get it. Fine.
Like right now, there is no real public awareness of a Batgirl. So if you're gonna put Batgirl into the cultural
Good
zeitgeist, if
point.
you want to use that term,
Mm-hmm.
you sound all fancy
Good
for
job.
whatever reason.
Very good.
But if you want to do that, then go in swinging.
Yeah,
Like
do it
go in
right.
there with
Do it
with a
right.
kick to the
Yeah,
face.
yeah.
Right.
You're damaging the brand, but now you're damaging her brand, right? And a bad girl, I think, could
Exactly.
do well. We've seen female audiences go to these movies, right? With the
Yeah.
big Captain Marvel, Wonder Woman, they made big money. There's an audience
Yeah.
for this shit, right? Bad girls are known quantity for the most part. Yeah, hell yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
do it right. If they're gonna redo it, I don't know, but and which kind of sucks because listen, I like the directors there. They were the guys who
Yeah.
did the
I like
Bad
them
Ways for
too.
Life, which I surprisingly really liked.
Yeah.
They did the first 2 episodes of Ms. Marvel, which probably the best 2 episodes of the series.
Yeah.
Okay, good. But I guess again, they didn't have the full resources because this was an HBO Max film. That was the plan,
Right.
right? And they had talked about the old regime releasing it in overseas, even here in theatrical, whatever, which obviously would have been a mistake. Because I did hear something specific. Someone mentioned that the costumes look cheap, right? For what it's worth.
Ah.
And again, it goes
Okay.
back to the production value, right? You can put money in
Right.
there, but is the A-team design crews, the A-team second unit directing crew, is that really what's being used on a TV, streaming movie? Probably
Right.
not, right? If this is to get go theatrical release, they're getting the A-teams, and that changes
Mm-hmm.
everything, including the cost. But that's okay. So yeah, so I'm fine with this. People are going crazy, and I want to see a Batgirl, and I want to see these two guys direct, and I hope. And he did mention they're going to use them, for other films. So I'm hoping it's for other DC films because these guys got
Like you
talent.
said, it
They
was
got talent.
better than expected, but it wasn't good enough for the
It
movie.
wasn't good
But
enough for
better than
theatrical
expected
release.
means
Yeah.
you got quality, you got talent.
Yeah,
behind
and
it.
he said they're going to work with Leslie Grace, who was going to be Batgirl, and the two directors, which they're good.
Brendan Fraser, obviously.
I would assume Brendan Fraser. I feel bad for Brendan Fraser. He's in the middle of this potential Fraser songs. That he's in. He's got another movie coming out.
Well, he's doing the
Oscar
whale
bait.
with Aaron
That's
Oscar right
exactly
now. So
yeah.
he's
That was my next lead. Yeah, that he was doing that movie. And that's like Oscar bait kind of thing. So he could be in a
right.
so good for him. But yeah, this I don't know if we're gonna see this again and redone and God, I don't even want to hear a fucking release the Bagger cut or some fucking nonsense. I swear to God.
I will say this: Since they're canceling things, can you cancel Titans? Is that
Oh, so
possible? Can you
not surprising. That's
save
the
a
first thing
couple
that
of
he should
million?
have sliced and diced. Maybe
You're
Titans,
goddamn right
maybe
it
Titans
is.
as well. And it's funny because James Gunn today is like he sent a message saying, "Everybody relax, Peacemaker 2 is fine." It's funny, but he jumps the gun, pun intended. That's fine. Again, a wise decision because that was I think one of the most watched shows on HBO Max.
Yes.
But yeah, so that's it's fascinating. But yeah, as far as the Flash, I think that's the difference between this and Batgirl, where the Flash is a theatrical release, right? So it looks and feels like a big
But
event film. Now,
but
I know it's
there's a big but on
well,
that.
and it's incredibly expensive. Losing $70 to $90 million is different than losing 2 to 25. There's a world difference, and I don't know if
Here's
he won't take that kind of hit. That's bad
here's
business.
here's what I'll say. Um, a lot of corporations find a lot of loopholes on how to not pay taxes. And if you pay attention to real world accounts, there might be a bill passing in the Senate and the Congress where all companies that make over $1 billion are going to be required to pay 15%. What better way to make sure you're paying the lowest version of that tax than going, we just lost three
Yeah,
hundred
well,
million
it
dollars.
depends because again, you want to make money. That's a huge hit. That's a huge hit. And if you have other movies making up for it, that's a lot, dude. Just throwing away 225 and all that's a lot of money. And that's bad business. So, but again, the rumors are that people have liked the film. So again, I'm doing wrong. If he David Lazar watched it and he said this is shit, whatever
Well,
Ezra Miller could have
I'm
had a
thinking
pristine record, he would have not probably not even released the film because
I don't
he's
I don't
focused on
think the
that.
movie is going to be shit because of the quality. I think the
That's
quality
what I'm
will be
saying.
great.
That's
I
what I'm
think
saying.
it's
Right.
because of the Ezra Miller of it
Right,
all.
which I
It
think
might be.
people. Let's be real. Who's really paying attention to that? Honestly, the casual.
I
I don't
feel a
think.
lot of people are paying
I don't
attention to
think the
that.
casual fan gives a shit. I really don't. And in a year, whatever. Unless something else happens or something a story escalates. But right now, in a year, they forget. Dude. They forget about everything.
Listen,
They can
look,
forget
all I'm gonna
about.
say is Ezra's gonna Miller
Look,
it. Okay,
Johnny Depp's
so
always he's always the best guy, and he was being fucking ragged on for God knows how long, a couple years back, and all of a sudden people forget. Oh, it's Johnny
but
Depp.
there's a difference
Oh,
between
got Amber Heard.
someone talking shit about you and like grooming.
Well,
There's
listen,
a big
but
step.
let's assume what Johnny Depp potentially could have done is worse than getting drunk in a bar and throwing a chair. Let's be real.
Well, Ezra's clearly worse than getting drunk and throwing a bar in a chair.
I don't
Like
know.
I think.
No, you can't. Domestic violence. Dude, come on, bro. Don't even
No,
start.
I'm talking about the grooming part with that girl who's on the run with him. Like that's a whole
Well,
thing.
that's a different story, but we don't know what the full story. I don't want to speculate.
Right.
I want to be
Okay.
fair. I don't know
But
what's going on.
sure. All
It
right.
sounds weird.
All
I
right.
get it,
I'm
but
just
I want to be
saying.
because listen,
Just
Johnny
saying.
Depp should have gotten the same kind of a courtesy. I'm just people jump the gun. I don't want to be that guy. Let's see what comes
Fair.
out. Could it be worse?
Fair.
For sure. I don't know, right? And like I said, parents share some of that blame as far as I'm concerned. But
Absolutely.
but again,
Not say-
but that's one thing. But again, either way, in a year, people might forget about that. So and as long as the movie's good, it's gonna get released. I just don't see
We'll
it.
see.
They're not gonna
All
shelve
right.
it. I'd be shocked if they show this movie. I really
Listen,
would.
I know all this comes down to Michael Keaton, and I get it.
God, I feel
I
bad
get
for
it.
Michael Keaton. What if he gets
I
screwed?
get it.
He already gets screwed at Batgirl. He may get screwed at
Uh-huh.
the Flash. Hopefully not. And apparently, and
They made him do Morbius. Like it's been a hard
oh,
year.
he's like the poor guy.
It's
Put
been
in
a
more.
hard year for
God,
Michael
he
Keaton.
can't get a break from anybody.
Ugh.
But I guess I just until we see the Flash, I don't know what the plans were with Michael Keaton, and this leads to speaking of Batman, when Moa came out the other day and he put a pic on Twitter with him and Affleck, and I guess he's reunited or whatever. So obviously, not that it's been confirmed, but it kind of has been that he's going to appear in Aquaman 2. I think it's going to be a very small role, and
Yeah,
I don't think he even
absolutely.
appears in the Batsuit. It just might be him and just Bruce Wayne, if you will.
Right.
But whatever, he's there. But I mean, he was also in Flash as well. So it's not like they're replacing Keaton or whatever direction. He was also
Right.
going to be in the Flash against small role. So, but Keaton, I feel bad for Keaton, dude. And I love me some Michael Keaton. If they show the Flash, man, what a shame that is. Because that's the only reason to get, well, not only reason, but the main reason to get excited for the Flash
Was
Michael
Keaton?
Keaton, right? Let's be
I
honest.
agree. I agree.
Just cut off all the Flash, leave the Michael Keaton, or extend his scenes for Christ's sake. I don't know. Give us a Batman.
Give us a Flash movie, but keep Michael Keaton in it.
Yeah.
And cut everyone else out.
Put Keaton in the Batman and then switch him out to the Flash outfit. I'm fine with it. I
works.
allow it. I would allow it for him, for Christ's sake. Why not?
Get the deep fake dude.
Exactly.
To put it-
Little touch. Just spend a little extra money. Come on, Zlazov. You know what's up. And because whatever. But I mean, we'll see about Flash. I don't know. It's early. They got a year to think about this. So again,
All right.
that's in their favor,
Okay.
right? We'll see if
All right.
the axe of Zlazov comes down on this shit or not.
Sure.
I don't know. I would assume he probably would have said something already. Like if he was dead set against it right now, this would be the perfect time to say, nope. when I release it. You know,
or he
like taking
cancels it
taking a
next year
stance. You know,
and says he took a $90 million loss in 2022. He took a $200 million loss in
you
2023,
stuck.
and then 2024 on it's start to
You
bank,
don't want
and
to the
that's
star holders get a little nervous when that happens. That's what I'm saying. It's 90s fine, but that's no.
just saying.
The
Just
stock
saying.
price drops, and I was looking for work over at fucking Universal or some shit.
Maybe.
So you know, just you gotta be smart. You gotta be judicial with
All
your
right.
decisions, right? So we'll
Sure.
see. Cause I want to see Flash. I really do.
I will do.
I'm more curious now than ever before, and even they even moved Batgirl. They had postponed it past the Flash because obviously the connection with Keaton and all that.
Right.
Not that we're gonna
Mm-hmm.
see that movie now, but they were setting something up, whatever it is, and it's just
They
odd.
were
And they were,
past
and it's
tense.
just, and I still find
Past
funny.
tense.
We talked about this where you know they hated the Snyderverse and whatever, but his presence is still felt with Affleck
Oh,
and
but
Aquaman and the Flash, and it's all he ain't going away. Snyder has not gone anywhere.
uh,
It's this presence is still there. So I think they need to just how to reboot. I don't think reboot. Just give us a fucking Superman. How about that? Let's start with Superman and fucking
start Superman.
and let's work our way
Go
down.
with there.
And all the rest is the domino
Sure.
starts. Just give us fucking
Figure
Superman.
it
I don't
out.
give a fuck. And don't give us a stupid, which I don't think is gonna happen anymore. That not Brian Singer. What's the other guy? From this who made Star Trek and
Oh,
Abrams. J.J. Abrams. I'm sorry.
J. Abrams.
Right,
Yeah.
that version with the.
I heard like they quietly canceled his contract. Like you're
Well,
done.
yeah. Well, they got his show he was going to produce on HBO Max got canned. It was I think the budget was like 250, and they're like no. And this is recently they toned it down. He's like no, he needs the money. So okay, well bye. Have a nice day. Maybe we'll see shit on Apple Plus. They got tons of money. Why not?
Right.
But yeah, so I got a feeling that we're not going to see whatever that version of Superman was going to be. Michael B. Jordan was producing as well. That's the other name. But yeah, just bring Henry Cavill back. Let's make everybody happy. That's it. Make everybody
Just
happy.
do the most obvious
Do
thing
the
you should have done.
exactly.
Just do that.
It's easy. It's not even that difficult. He wants to do it. Everybody wants to see him do it. Look, like everybody's excited when the rumors started coming out. Oh, Comic Con, and there's a point where he didn't show up. Oh my God!
That's right.
Just bring him out, pay him his fucking money, and let's get on with it. It's just come on. It's just
Make him fight Brainiac
you can
or
fight anybody, dude.
or Bizarro,
Make him
and
fight
just
Zack Snyder, man. Come on, people love that. That could be interesting. But yeah, and speaking of DC, they did announce Joker. Well, we knew Joker 2 was coming out, but they got an official date
Right.
and all that, and it confirmed Lady Gaga, which I thought was a great casting on that. I can't wait.
That's
for it.
great.
In 2 years,
Super
that's a
exciting.
long way away. But yeah,
Sure.
but either way, before we get to Marvel Cinematic Universe, there's some Marvel news I know you're itching to talk about.
Yeah. Okay.
And that is
So
the big event crossover.
yeah, I mean, listen, it's summer. We're all talking about blockbusters. And, speaking of blockbusters, it's not just Marvel movie blockbusters, it's Marvel comic blockbusters. And if you are a fan of the Marvel movies, they pull extremely heavy off the comic books. It's never a exact point by point interpretation, but they get a lot of the ideas out of it. Right now, if you want a cool comic book series to collect from Marvel for the summer, get on this now. It's the X-Men versus the Avengers versus the Eternals. AXE, Axe Judgment Day. Basic premise is super simple. In the comics, the X-Men now have their own country called Krakoa. And it's mutant pro, and they're kicking ass. They've developed drugs that humans need, and they're basically owning humanity pharmaceutically. And on the back end, they've discovered a way to live forever, essentially be immortal. Even though they can be killed, they figured out how to be resurrected. Like not just their body, like all of them gets to be resurrected, and it makes perfect methodical sense. Jonathan Hickman wrote it. He's the guy who created the Secret War storyline, which obviously that's what Marvel's goal is. So Jonathan Hickman, he knows how to do this thing. So because they basically the X-Men are so powerful right now. Not only they figured out how to own humanity through pharmaceuticals, not only they have their own country, not only are they figured out a way to be resurrected, be immortal, they terraformed and colonized Mars, and they declared the Sol system the first mutant galaxy. That's how bold the X-Men are being right now. It's great to be an X-Men fan right now. Completely different, weird new stories you've never read before, and it's really exciting because you don't really have an idea what's going on. And there's like just standard superhero fare. There's like these side adventure heroes, and then there's like the X-Men's country is run by this thing called the Quiet Council, which essentially is Succession meets Game of Thrones in terms of political intrigue and machinations. It's great. I can't say enough about it. But on top of all this, it's been revealed to the world that the X-Men have figured out immortality. And when the Eternals find this out, they're like, wait a minute.
How dare thee?
Immortality is meant only for Eternals. If the mutants have figured out a way to become Eternals, that means they're deviating from their genetic evolutionary points. And what is the main job of the Eternal? To go after excess deviations. So they declare war on mutants. Now, the reason they're declaring war on mutants is it's essentially a power play from inside the Eternal hierarchy system. The guy who's currently in charge, the guy who's currently the Prime Eternal, Druig, the guy who plays Joker in the Batman. I forgot the name of his actor, but it's the non-problem Ezra Miller is what he looks like. So he's in charge, and he's concocted his whole thing to basically, if I declare war on mutants, I can be the prime eternal for the next 1,000 years. So I'm going to do that. And that's why. So it's all power play. And he's got some side dealings. And the first issue, it's the opening salvo of the war between the Eternals and the X-Men. And you find out that, as if you're not a if you watch the Eternals movie, were able to stay awake through that whole thing, you find out that Star Fox is an Eternal, and he's brothers with Thanos. Thanos was an Eternal as well. Well, you find out that because the Eternals can have a few people who are related to one another, there's a guy in the Eternals called Uranos, and he is essentially the great. He's a great uncle, but he lets Thanos call him his great grandfather. Basically, everything that, if you're like, where did all this horrible evil stuff come from Thanos? It came from Uranos. He is the guy who makes Thanos goes, when I grow up, I want to be you. That's how this dude is. So Druig releases Uranos into Mars and says, you have 1 hour. There are 2 million mutants living on Mars. You have 1 hour. And Uranos goes, that's plenty of time. And he goes, as soon as an hour's up, you're going to teleport right back into your prison cell. He's like, the problem with your plan is you're going to have to release me again, but I'm going to show you why. He murders so many mutants in that 1 hour that he has time to collect all their bones and put it in a shape of the X that goes like for like 10 miles each stretch. It is bananas. It is beautifully drawn. It's written by Kieran Gillian, who wrote the Eternals. He's written the X-Men. He's written one of a great Iron Man run. Like, this dude is solid. He's the guy responsible for the current iteration of Mr. Sinister. That is like, everyone's like, this is my favorite Mr. Sinister. Kieran Gillian helped breed that into continuity. This dude is a solid writer. The art is fantastic. I'm drawing a blank on the art, but here's the thing: Eternals fighting X-Men, Avengers caught in the middle. Because if you're going to fight on Earth and you have these two powerhouse groups, they could destroy everything. So they are caught in the middle, and the Avengers have had Eternals and X-Men on their teams. So they're literally caught in the middle. It's so much fun. It's so big on bombastic, and it doesn't play to the stupid. It is not a Michael Bay. It is I would say the Russo brothers when they are have a job to do. This is what it feels like. It feels like a very smart Russo brothers movie as opposed to Michael Bay. So if you want a chance, pick up Eternals versus the X-Men versus the Avengers. Axe Judgment Day. Issue 1 has came out last week. Issue 2, I think, comes out this week. Actually, may have come out yesterday. I'm not 100% sure because I've been a little busy on my end. But pick that up. It's going to be, I think it's like a 6 or 8 issue miniseries. Tons of tie-ins if you want to. The tie-ins is give you more detail for the major events, but you could just read the miniseries and it sit pretty. It started in the end of July. It goes into, I believe, September or October. So it's a long miniseries, but it is one of those things where if you were like, man, I wish I could watch Endgame, but bigger. This is what it feels like. It is so over the top, so crazy. The art styles make you like the artwork is just so rich and detailed and gives you a real heft to either the like two people fighting or like when these giant planetary war machines are coming out. It's fantastic. I cannot say enough. Pick up Axe. It is my recommendation for the summer for Marvel and a good place to go. When you see something happen later on, you're like, oh, I actually read where that pulled from. Do you guys know? And you could be all snobby, like, oh, the book was better. Whatever. You could do that finally because I don't know if you're reading, but if you're gonna read anything, read Axe. It's great. So thank you, Jose.
And what's good
for all
is
the
that,
fans
like,
out there.
unlike the Eternals, won't put you to sleep like that.
Exactly. It won't put you to sleep. This makes the Eternals super interesting, guys. Yeah, absolutely.
Which is funny because they just, well, not really a side note, but they did announce, well, I guess, what is his name? But either way, someone slipped up in Good Morning America and said that they're already gonna announce the second sequel to Eternals.
Eternal?
You're the same Chloe, what's her face? Chloe Zhao.
Chloe Zhao?
Directing. Yeah, so I'm not sure if he was supposed to say that, but he did. So maybe he, you know how that goes. It slips. What are
Whoops.
you gonna do? Whatever. That's not a huge. I wouldn't care less if they announced a D23. I'm like, okay, another fine Eternals movie, whatever. Yeah.
Great to Disney Plus.
HBO Max
Actually,
is taking it. You know.
Speaking of slipping, I don't even know we have the schedule for today, but I know I sent you the link. You heard about this other TikTok video
Yeah, that's
with Oscar Isaac.
No, I'm not sure that's a slippage. He meant to say it. Yeah,
they meant to say it, but it was.
We meant to say with Moon Knight. I guess someone was in TikTok was filming him and asking about the sequel,
The director and Oscar Isaac were there. I was like, "What do you think we're doing in Cairo?"
Yeah,
like,
I mean, it's not really a confirmation but I mean, who knows? Maybe that gets announced at D23. I don't know.
It might be,
potentially, or he could be fucking with them. I'm just saying, you know how it is.
Listen,
I know you were hoping that's the case.
Listen. If I get another B+ series, I'm excited about it. And I will say this: after reading the Moon Knight series that's going on right now, it is. I hope it's more the series than the TV series, because the comic book series right now, I want that as a series. I'll bring that to the series because it's so good. But yeah, I'm all in.
Yeah,
I'm super excited.
I'm sure then if it's true, they'll announce it. But I don't think it's maybe any part of Phase 5 or 6 at this point. Maybe
I think it might be Phase 6.
Maybe,
I think maybe Phase 6.
Definitely not Phase 5, right?
No way Phase 5.
Obviously, because the slate it's booked. Right. Maybe 6. Maybe we'll see. Which leads us.
It would have to be. It would have to be before. It would have to be before Kang Dynasty. Obviously, that's kind of what you're looking at.
Yeah, who knows? It might be just. I don't know. I guess I don't think that everything's being tied to this next big event, right? Because again, we talked about that. You know, I might have the graphic of all the movies coming out for the phases announced. You know, like things like Echo, and for the most part, that's not tied into any of this. I don't believe anyway. In Captain America, we said maybe potentially could. Agatha,
Captain America and Thunderbolts are the only two that maybe could connect maybe, but it's not. Right. Right.
So, but Blade.
Loki's the only one that's 100% sure that's going to connect.
Well, and
Ant-Man. And Quantumania.
Yeah, like those two
are the only two are going to connect for sure.
Guaranteed, lock it in, right? The rest.
Right. Maybe.
Maybe the Marvels, I guess, will be the next big one, I think.
Could be. Yeah, that has the potential.
Potential, because I guess, Captain Marvel. But let's get into that, because I know you wanted to procrastinate. Not procrastinate, that's the right word. Forgot the word.
Pontificate. Ponder. You could ponder.
About what potential secrets lie, or surprises,
or
predictions.
We were thinking about this. We talked about it a little bit, but we never really came down for certain, which is who is going to be on the Avengers, like leading up to Kang Dynasty and then Secret Wars. And we could pitch it as like the beginning of Kang Dynasty, or we could talk about at the end of Secret Wars. But with everyone that we know for sure,
Kang Dynasty first, because we have to see what happens with that before we can speculate on the next.
Fair.
Because these are going to be tied in together, right? So I assume something's going to happen. So it's just easy with Kang. Like this is the setup, right? So who is the Avengers? Who is a team?
Who would be in the Avengers?
Who's a team? So give me three locks, like guaranteed.
Well, I would say before we go 3 locks,
okay.
What would you want to be the cap for the team? 7, 10, 5? How many members you want on the team?
It's hard to say because I'm just thinking back.
Think of it this way: in the first Avengers, it was 7.
Well, if we count Black
Widow, in the second Avengers, technically it went up to 10 because you got Scarlet Witch, you got
Vision,
and you got War Machine. I don't count Quicksilver because he died.
No,
I'm
he
talking
was
about
never
everyone who
he was never
survived
an
that.
Avenger, right? He was never an Avenger per se.
Right. So I would say, and Falcon showed up at the end too, but
Yeah, he
so I would
wasn't
say,
Falcon. He wasn't part of the team. So and
oh, Falcon was actually in the team. It was War Machine that didn't show up
War
until
Machine.
he showed up at the beginning, and he showed up at the end. Falcon was in the air fighting everybody.
Okay.
Right. So it was Falcon, it was Vision, and it was Scarlet Witch. Those were the three members they called in. So that being said, you had 10 at the end of Age of Ultron. You had 7 in the beginning at the end of Avengers. So we could split the difference and make it 8. We can go up to 9 or
I
10.
mean, there's so
No
many
more than
characters
10.
that they're giving us. I'd be surprised
Without
if we don't get at least 10. I'm saying 10.
10. We're doing
I
10.
don't want to see more than that because it's too many. At that point,
2. I agree. I
it's
agree.
too many. I think 10, and even 10 is borderline. But let's go with
Yes.
10, right? Let's be fair because there
Okay.
are more characters to choose from this time
Obviously.
around than there were before. But before it was just really
Obviously.
the 4 big heroes and then Black
Right.
Widow and Hawkeye. So let's get right now 3 locks, like
The 3 locks. Okay.
guaranteed
All right.
Avenger.
Okay. You go first, and then I'll go, and we'll build a team that way.
Well, for me, lock is Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel's gonna be a
I
lock
think
for
she's
you.
locked. I think she's a lock.
My
And
lock.
she may, and I don't want to see that. That's not what I want. I don't even want to be on there, but she's in it. Fine, I get it. She has to be in it. She may be the one who leads the team potentially. Although I do have a dark horse in that, which we get to in a second. But I think Captain Marvel is a lock for me.
I disagree with you. Believe it or not, I don't think she's a lock. I think she'll be in it, but I don't think she's a lock.
So you think she's in it though? Okay.
I think she's in it, but I don't think she's a lock.
Fair
And
enough.
if we're gonna go for team leaders, I'm going Anthony Mackie, Captain America.
I think he's gonna be in it, so I'll put Captain America. I don't know if he's gonna lead the team or not.
I think he's gonna be
I
the
guess
leader.
that's just gonna depend on what his show is, because I don't know.
His movie, not a show.
That's
His
right,
movie.
his movie. What that's gonna be. But yeah, it's a potential. I'll give you that. There's a potential
Yes.
there.
So
But
my
I
lock
think
for-
he's a lock to be in it.
My lock.
Okay.
And as for leader, I'm putting Captain America, not Captain Marvel. Captain America
For leader.
for leader.
And no, I'm saying for me. I'm saying for leader and
Oh.
a lock, Wong.
Ooh, nice.
You know,
I say
he's been popping up everywhere. He's a very powerful. We can forget he's the sorcerer supreme, right? He knows all about this shit.
sure.
He's been in all these movies, so he's like the connective tissue kind of. I'm thinking about that. He's kind of like the Nick Fury esque, where he's
Right now,
saw him in
very much.
Shang-Chi.
So.
He's in obviously Doctor Strange. You're gonna see him in She-Hulk, for example.
Yeah.
He's gonna pop up in these. So it's a dark horse leader potential. I'd rather see him than Captain Marvel as leader, to be perfectly honest with you. Like at least he'd be the one that gathers, or at least forms a team and gets them all. You know,
between so far everything you said, I still put Captain America as my team leader.
that's fair. I can see that again. The potential's there. I'm not
Right.
saying no, right? So that's 3 locks. I have 2. You have 1 so far.
Okay.
Who's your lock?
My secondary
Or
lock.
do you think Wong will be part of the team?
So, not spoiler alert for something I made up in my own head. I think Wong will be in the team, but I think Wong will die
During the movie.
during the movie.
Well,
I think Wong is going to die.
That's fine.
But
He's on the team. Okay.
because of that, my secondary lock is going to be Doctor Strange.
I'm not sure he's a lock, but I would lean more that he's going to be in it, but not a lock. But yes, I'm okay with that. So
I have him as a lock, and that's what's going to help motivate him is the death of Wong, and Wong's going to tell him, "You're the new Sorcerer Supreme." Like he's going to pass the mantle onto him, and on the battlefield, like I said, be like a battlefield promotion. You're the new Doctor Strange. The Sorcerer
I
Supreme.
go with my third lock, Shang-Chi. I don't see how he's not in it after introduced. I just don't see it. Like
I
I'd be
agree.
disappointed if he's not in it.
And also, the director of Shang-Chi is directing Kang.
That's a good point. So
both of us agree Shang-Chi is the
he's
third
a
lock.
For me, third lock. So he's the third lock as well. Okay.
Shang-Chi's the third lock.
So now we got 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 5 of them because we both had Shang-Chi.
No, you have 3 and I have 3.
Right, but
you have Captain Marvel.
Shang-Chi is a crossover, both of us.
Crossover,
Right.
We both agree.
So you got
we
Marvel.
both agree our third play is Shang-Chi.
Right, Shang-Chi, both captains, Marvel and America, Wong, and Doctor Strange.
Right.
So that's 1, 2, 3. So that's 5. So we got 5 left. So I'll throw my hat in the ring as far as the next one. I'll put Thor.
Yeah, that's a good one. I will agree with you on that one.
Who else you got?
After Thor, I'm going Miss Marvel.
I guess her, stepping on stuff and putting little blocks is worthy enough to put on in the Avengers.
She's
Sure,
gonna be
okay, all
she's
right,
gonna
all
be
right.
the Spider-Man of this movie.
God. Well,
She's
since you
gonna be the
brought him
Spider-Man
up,
of this movie.
listen, that's fine. It's possible. I'm not saying it's not going to happen, of course. But that being said, the elephant in the room here, with the spider in the room, is Spider-Man in the Avengers?
Secret Wars. He's gonna be Secret Wars, not Kang Dynasty.
Okay, so you don't think I agree with that? I don't think he's going to be in this first one either,
No, he's gonna be in
unless
Secret
they
Wars, not
announce
Kang.
a Spider-Man movie being released before Kang. I don't
Right,
see
then
it.
that changes
I
everything.
change that.
That
I agree,
changes
but just
everything.
as it currently
Right.
stands, right? We have the right to
Right.
amend our choices here.
Because we talked about what would the Avengers look like at the end of Secret Wars. You said no, we're just doing Avengers pre
We're doing
or the
pre, right?
beginning of Kang
With that,
Dynasty. Right.
we're doing pre because yeah. So obviously,
Sure.
so that okay. So that's seven. So who's the eight? It's not definitely not Black Widow. Black Widow. Definitely not Black Widow. I'm not wrong there. Scarlet Witch.
No.
God,
I'll tell you who I think
God,
who I think is going to be in there. You know who?
Yeah, go ahead.
Ironheart.
Maybe, maybe. I
I could see
oh,
because
I got one.
first
I got one. Okay, go ahead. Yes.
what
No,
what
go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah,
think
Ironheart.
of it, she's gonna be she's showing up in Black Panther. She has her own series coming out in Phase 5. So going into
No,
Phase
that's fine.
6,
That's fine. I
Ironheart,
got two, but I'm gonna go one
and
first.
she solves your genius problem. You need a super genius. She's your super
That's
genius.
fine, unless sure, yeah. We'll get to that in a second. But Ant Man,
Oh, Ant Man, you're
I
right.
don't see how he's not in here. I mean,
Yeah, you got to have an Ant
yeah,
Man.
unless
Yeah,
he dies,
absolutely.
the stupid rumors going around he's gonna die in the. He's not dying in the fucking movie. I don't want to hear that. But that's I think Ant Man was that's five, six, seven, eight, so nine, and then I'll just because we talked about it, kind of Black Panther. Whoever the Black Panther is, do you think that's in play or no?
I think I don't. I think she might. She. I think Black Panther will show up at the end of the movie, but it will be like a guest star. It won't be part of
So he's not
the
part of
full
the team.
team.
Okay, that's fair.
I don't think
Okay,
it's a part of
so
the
who
team.
else? Because that's nine so far.
Yeah. Let's see here.
So we got no more. This and just read over some of the movies coming out: Guardians, Echo,
Yeah,
Loki, Blade, Agatha, Captain America, Thunderbolts, Daredevil, Ironheart, the Marvels, Echo. We got Thor
Uh,
already.
you know what? If
Um,
I honestly say I could see Namor.
oh no, I got one.
No, what? Or
Uh,
She-Hulk. What?
Not She-Hulk. I don't think She-Hulk makes an Avengers team. I don't. She may show up later, but not in the initial team. Rhodey.
I know because I say if you have Ironheart, you don't need Rhodey.
You never need a Rhodey to begin with, but he was still. I love Rhodey, but let's be honest. Did you?
Okay, but look. Okay, wait. So
He's Iron Man. He's an Iron Man
we
light, right? That's what he
we
was.
need
But I like that
I
guy.
know we have Thor, but we're gonna need a Hulk. We're gonna need a
I don't
Hulk.
think Hulk is not in the plans. They don't know what to do with Hulk. They really don't. I honestly think Marvel's got no clue what to do with Hulk. They've already neutered him. It's a
I
wrap, dude.
think they I
It's a
think
wrap.
they have him in She-Hulk for a reason. There is a
Yes,
plan.
so they can pass on the mantle to someone I think they can write better for these films because they can handle it. It's been what's happened to him has been an atrocity.
Well,
But in Avengers he was awesome, all for it. Ragnarok great, and then from there it's been they took his character and
I don't
flushed
think
him
Rhodey.
down the
I
toilet.
don't think you're gonna do Rhodey. So
It's
if we're
possible.
not gonna
I'm
do
just saying.
Hulks, I maybe She-Hulk.
Listen, you gotta represent. You gotta have Captain America can't be the only black guy in the team, dude. You gotta put Rhodey in there, dude. You gotta
Well,
represent.
no, Ironheart, black chick.
Okay, that's fine. I'll allow
Yeah,
it.
no, doing.
Okay,
So,
fair enough. Okay,
so
that's fair.
here's what it is. So we still have one
So we got
slot.
one,
I
two,
would
three, four,
my
five.
slot would either be She-Hulk
Okay, or you
or
gotta make a decision.
I would
Don't
what?
waffle. Pick one. Don't waffle.
I'll go for She-Hulk.
Okay,
I'll go for She-Hulk.
She-Hulk. Okay. It again possible. Wong is in
Awesome.
that show, so maybe that helps to kind of usher
Uh
her
huh.
into
Yeah.
that what
Absolutely.
they're doing. So that's 10.
Absolutely.
Okay. So now
So read off the team. So just so
So
we all
we
know.
got Captain Marvel, Captain America, Wong, Doctor Strange, Shang-Chi, Thor, Miss Marvel, Ironheart, Ant-Man, and She-Hulk. That doesn't sound very impressive, to be honest with you.
Are you kidding me? That's a great team.
It's just I don't know what it is. I mean, I love Thor, but I don't know.
That's a great team with a sacrifice
You
character
know what it is.
in Wong.
I'm just comparing it to the last iteration of Avengers, and it doesn't hold a candle to it.
It This iteration we just talked about. is
Don't say it's
comparable
bad.
to the very first Avengers, the very
Well, the
first
very first, but
Avengers,
that was this not the same. I'm talking about like the last iteration because
and
that
it's
was the
also
full squad.
comparable to Age of Ultron. Age of Ultron, this is a very solid team.
I don't know. Again, it goes back to Captain America and Iron Man. They're just too good as characters, right? I'm not saying in terms of strength or
I mean,
power or
look, look,
what their abilities because Captain Marvel can beat
you
anybody
can't.
up. I get it.
What I'm saying is this: you can't compare this Avengers team to like Endgame because there was no real Avengers team. It was just a bunch of groupings of everybody all over the place.
Well, and
So
Infinity Wars, there was that they were there. Even you want to, even they were there, right?
Infinity War, there was
They were Avengers. Just at the end of the
there
day,
was groupings of people in different places. You had a little bit of the Guardians with Iron Man and Spider Man. You had Cap's Secret Avengers
well,
with a wounded
that's true, but
Vision.
it's not like we're gonna see all these 10 characters in any one scene together until maybe the very end or something.
At the very end, I see it
Right,
as the
so it's gonna
very
be the
end.
same
Right.
thing. They're gonna be separate, do their own thing, and then they get together. We
So
know how this is gonna
so
work, right?
if
So
this so if there are 10, if these are 10,
if there's 10, right? This
what's
thing's 10.
what's the grouping? What's the grouping?
Well, Miss Marvel and Captain Marvel obviously be one. I'm thinking with Thor, right? That's
Okay.
much closest this Thor can get to a galactic kind of
They would
you
need
know
they would need a magic person. So would they take Wong or would they take Strange?
strange.
Strange. Okay.
So that will leave Captain America, Ironheart, Wong together,
Okay.
and then here on Earth,
And She Hulk.
no, no,
She Hulk
no,
would
no,
be in
because
that team.
they need defense here on Earth while they're doing whatever, or someplace whatever they're doing,
No, the secondary team, because you said the secondary team. So if
no, the
one
second team,
team
but
is,
the third team, I'm putting She-Hulk in the third team with Ant-Man and Shang-Chi.
but so one team has
So one
four,
team
and the
has
other.
four, the second one's got three, and the other one's got three.
So why don't we just do two teams at 5 and 5?
That's still too many. You need three things going on. This is a big movie. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
It's a big film, right? A lot
Okay.
of things going on. Just saying they're gonna separate, and eventually they'll, group together at some point. I guess to fight Kang or whatever.
Okay.
He's obviously
Okay.
gonna die. Well, I assume he's gonna die anyway.
Sure.
But I think those would be the pairings for me. Because
So what I'm saying.
Shang-Chi's
So
still kind of young. She-Hulk's still learning how to be a
okay.
superhero.
So
And Ant-Man,
read
let's
read,
be honest, he's
read
Ant-Man.
that back because I think I'm going to play this off a little different. Read your groupings again. Group
So I
one,
got
group two, group three.
group three. I'd start from the bottom. Shang-Chi, Ant-Man, She-Hulk together here.
Okay.
Those are the weak links for me.
Okay.
Then the second one is Wong, Ironheart, Captain America.
Okay.
And then the group number one, this is the A team, will be Strange, Captain Marvel, Miss Marvel, and Thor.
Okay. I'm gonna turn this around for you. Okay. This is what I'm gonna do. Group one is gonna be Captain America, Thor, Ironheart.
Okay.
Okay. Group two is gonna be She Hulk, Shang Chi,
You want to put
Ant
Ant Man in there. You put Ant Man.
Man.
That's exactly what I said. So we have
There
that
you
the
go.
same.
Yeah,
We have
that's a
that
good
the
one.
same.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
And then Captain Marvel, Miss Marvel,
And
and what's the? I'm drawing a
Strange,
blank.
Strange or Wong?
What?
Wong or Strange?
Strange.
Strange. Okay.
Strange.
Wong's with
Oh, all right. Wong goes with the She-Hulk group.
with Thor. Oh, with She-Hulk instead.
With She-Hulk.
Okay.
Yeah, Wong goes with the
Okay.
She-Hulk group because Wong and She-Hulk will have Wong knows She-Hulk and Shang-Chi, so they would be familiar with him.
So let's assume I would ideally like to see only 8 Avengers. So let's cut 2. Who are your first?
Oh,
Who you cuts? Who you cutting out of this group? For me, easy would be She-Hulk because I haven't seen it yet, so maybe I changed my mind. But for now, I say She-Hulk,
I kind of want to say if I'm going to
and
cut
I
somebody,
want to say Miss Marvel. Miss Marvel stays behind. She's too young to do this kind of thing. So Captain Marvel's like, stay back.
I disagree. I
But I'm
disagree.
just saying those are the two that I will leave behind. Those are the weak links.
I would cut Captain Marvel.
Listen, I would love to have been Captain Marvel. I just know it's not going to happen.
She's a powerhouse though. So
That's what
she's
I'm
a
saying. You
powerhouse.
have to have the big, and she's the most powerful. I just by that reason she's there. I don't want to see her, but I get it. So I doubt she's not going to be in this Avengers team. She's a lock. I'm telling you. When she dies, surprising something, which is not going to happen. But yeah, so you have who do you have to? You haven't mentioned 2 yet. Well, you haven't mentioned 1 yet.
Okay, I'm
You
trying.
really think Captain Marvel? You really want her out? Like, do you think she'll be out? Come on now.
I kind of
I'm not
Like
saying what you
she's
want. I'm saying what you think is gonna happen.
right. Okay. Well, because she was cut out of the
She
Avengers.
was,
Like
but,
she
but
should
which
have.
is why I don't think she's gonna get shortchanged
Okay,
twice.
yeah,
Yeah,
you're right.
yeah.
It's sort of like what they did with Hawkeye, when they gave him a lot to do in the next
Right,
Avengers movie. They
exactly. It's
shortchanged him.
like the makeup. Like,
Okay,
oh, okay, we'll give you some lines
fair,
here and all that.
fair,
Because she
fair.
wasn't part of the original
Um,
team, so she had the big role in the last couple movies, which I guess she,
you know what? If that's the case, well, here's the thing. Like I said, I think Wong's gonna die, so maybe Wong dies early.
oh,
So
that's
you,
man. I don't know about that. I don't think
well,
he
think
dies.
about it.
I don't think
You want to
anybody
know
dies,
why?
to be honest with you.
You want to know why? Because they're Avengers. They have to avenge something. Wong dying, he's made contact with everybody. That's your avenge character. He's the Phil
That's
Coulson
I was
of
going to say
this.
a little too Phil Coulson esque. It's like we're gonna rinse and repeat already. I don't know. I don't know if I'm ready for that. To be honest with you, but
I mean, they kind of did that
because
in
I honestly, it makes sense that I get what you're saying. That does not. It makes sense. I guess who else is there to die? These other characters, they're too. That's a problem. They're too new. I mean, you kill Shang Chi or She Hulk. Who cares? I mean, they've done one thing. Who cares? And Ironheart, whatever. They're not gonna kill Thor, obviously. They're not gonna kill
not
Captain
until Secret
Marvel.
Wars. I think Thor's going to die
Right,
in Secret
Miss
Wars.
Marvel. They're not gonna care. So I mean, this is a process of elimination. You're right. Maybe it is Wong. Oh, Doctor Strange, but I don't think Strange has either.
No, I don't think that's
Well, he's got another
strange.
movie coming out, so no, he's not dying. So
Yeah,
maybe,
exactly. I don't think it's
this is what I mean.
strange.
There's no one else. Wong's really the only logical. So I get it. Oh, maybe Ant Man because he's whatever.
Maybe Ant
Yeah,
Man.
because we've seen a lot of
Right.
Ant Man, right? Someone's gonna die. And someone's gonna carry some weight, right? Can't just be some one and done person. No one
And
cares, right?
everyone loves Scott
Right.
Lang. Like
So
he's just.
unless they go bold and, like you said, Thor die,
I
is
think
he gonna
Thor's
kill
gonna
off
die
Thor?
in Secret Wars. That's gonna be his last Thor movie. It's gonna be
It's
Secret Wars.
possible. It's funny because to finish off here, Feige was talking the other day, and the Russos kind of jumped in, but Feige, his plan was to kill off all the OGs in Endgame.
I heard about
You heard
that.
about it, right? He wanted to get rid of
Yeah.
them all, and Russos was the one that said, "Hold up, that's too much to get rid of," right? Which I can see it. So he's not. He wouldn't. I wouldn't put it past him. Thor was OG, right? And he is this.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is the
He's
OG. As
phase
you get
one,
it, Ant
baby.
Man now would be considered OGs because there's no one else left.
Right.
So yeah, those are the two obvious choices as far as OGs or and a Wong. I don't think that
I
those
think
are two
I
new. There's no way you build them up and kill them on one way. I don't see that happening. I really don't.
I think Wong and Ant Man die.
I just yeah, you know what? Those are on the chopping block. I got 3 chopping blocks. I'm gonna throw in there too. His head's on the block.
I but
Whether it
I
comes down
think
to the guillotine, I don't know.
like I said, I think it's gonna be a thing where it looks like Thor's gonna die, but he survives, which makes when he dies in Secret Wars that much more like, oh man, you almost made it
I mean, if
out.
they're gonna kill
Like
someone, it has to be someone that level. That's the only way this thing works, right? And you're right. Thor, Wong, Ant Man, they're only 3 that I think will carry any weight.
Wong, Wong, and
Oh, go ahead.
yeah, Wong and Ant Man in Dynasty, Thor in Secret Wars. That's what I think happens.
We both neglected this last thing, real quick, last point.
What
Fantastic Four. Are they not part of this?
they are,
You
but
don't think
they are
they're
going to be
part of the
their
team?
own. They're going to be their own groupie.
Well, they're not be part. They're not be just like. There's got to be
We're just talking the
interaction.
Avengers, like
So
just like
Fantastic Four is they're not considered Avengers at this point, or whatever.
not yet. No. Even though
Okay.
different members of the Fantastic Four have been Avengers before, like Mr. Fantastic and Invisible Woman were Avengers at what time? The
Okay.
Thing, and even Johnny Storm were new Avengers at a time. So they had like brief stints as being Avengers. So
So do you think? I would say this that they don't show up in Kang, but they show up in Secret Wars.
I think they
Fair,
show up in Kang,
really.
but it's going to be towards the end, just like
Well, okay.
Black
Well,
Panther shows up at
which
the
is the
end.
same thing. I think they might show up at the end, but they're not really part of the film, kind of per se, right? They're
Right,
not part of the
right.
main
I don't think
storyline. No.
I think
Yeah,
that
I'll see that.
their presence doesn't become, especially if because of how the Secret War storyline works, their presence does not become major until the end of Kang and then heavy Secret Wars. That's their that's what
Right.
they
I think that's what
shine.
Fantastic Four are
Yeah,
going to take the forefront of the
yeah,
new team
absolutely,
or
absolutely.
whatever is going to happen.
Like
We'll see.
essentially, in Kang Dynasty, the Fantastic Four is the dude in the chair.
Okay.
They're feeding information. They're working with Black Panther, Wakanda, trading stuff. Blah blah blah. It's a Mister Fantastic and Shuri and maybe depending on how they write Invisible Woman, like they're going to be brain stomping this thing to, and they're going to relay all their information to Ironheart, and she's going to be the tech on the field who's going to be implementing everything they're talking about because no one's going to understand what they're doing except for someone like her or Bruce Banner. Which and so Bruce Banner would probably be in the brain trust, like stomping out the ideas and maybe building that line of defense in case whatever Kang's forces are trying to get to them before they can figure out the problem. So you have that like that
That's
one
fair.
team that stays earthbound, and then everyone else is going out doing different dynamic things. That's the whole thing,
Yeah.
like that.
And I'm sure, again, as these shows come out, we'll have varying opinions. Let's in these movies, we'll see what happens in each show.
So
Because right now,
let,
we're
let
going off just pure speculation because we haven't seen shit yet.
but let me ask you this: because you have it written down, and we've been known to make bold statements and then
Sure.
look back at the paper. What are the chances you think that this dynamic is going to be the team breakdown? Like companies we speculated what's going to be the Rotten Tomato score or
Mm.
what's going to be the. What do you think the percentage, the chances that we have just stumbled onto the proper breakdown of Avengers on
I'm pretty
this?
confident in this. I'll say 85%. I think we're 85% accurate. I mean, if there's less Avengers, obviously that's. But I'm saying, if there's
Sure.
eight, again, I still say the She-Hulk and
Right.
Ant-Man are out, whatever, or what I said, or Miss
and,
Marvel, Miss
and
Marvel.
we're
Um,
we're including death predictions as well, right?
the death ones. So let's assume so keep two separate. So I'll say 85% chance that we're correct here. I like those odds. Death, Wong, Thor, and Ant-Man, and whatever combination of the both films together. Keep
Right.
it simple.
Sure.
I'll say, man, I'll say I'm going in the middle. I'm gonna play it safe. 50% that we're correct on that.
I will do
I
this.
think we're
I
50.
believe that we are 100% sure on the deaths. I think
Actually,
we
you know
are.
what? I take it back. I think 0% on Thor because he's got another movie coming.
I think that the Secret Wars is his movie. I don't think he's going to be another Thor after this. I think he's going to do the
Okay.
Secret Wars, and that's going to be his. That's going to be his Robert Downey Jr. moment.
Let's see. I mean, like I said, that's one of the only few names that makes sense. Something like that's got to have some impact. It really does.
And also,
It has
the
to.
way I'm thinking is like this: like it's the move. These movies are like 3 years in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Hemsworth is gonna be like, "Yo, I've been destroying my body to be this fucking
And he
handsome."
loves. Well, yeah, I'll give him that. I mean, it could be a natural, God-given talent, bastard.
Son of a
I
bitch.
can't hate it. It is what it is. I wish, but I mean, yeah, but it does make it makes sense. If he was one to go, he'd have the biggest impact out of all the Avengers that we've named. I think,
I say
or
a
maybe even
hundred
Wong
percent.
because he's very sympathetic.
I say 100% of the deaths that we
Wow.
predicted are gonna
Okay.
happen. I'm all in on
I
that
have to
one.
say this sheet for like 4 years.
Yeah,
Pretty
laminate
funny.
that
They
thing.
may
It's gonna
Ant-Man
do it.
actually died like they're talking about the next movie. It's not gonna happen. Oh,
And I say on the team predictions, I would say I'd give it only because I haven't seen it on the movies. I'm gonna give it a seven. I think
well,
70% of
right
the
now,
team
I
we
mean, if
predicted.
D23 they announce other stuff like Spider-Man
We
something, then we can revise and we'll revisit after
okay.
D23 and say
So
D23 will make our finals. We'll lock in our answer
okay.
after
So
D23,
this is
right? It's a
our beta
preliminary.
test,
Right?
and then after
Yes, thank
D23,
you.
we'll
Yes.
lock in.
We'll lock it in after D23, and then we get a better picture. Okay, what's coming out, what's announced, and that may kind of give us some
Absolutely.
clues as to who will not be in the Avengers,
Sure.
obviously. So, but yeah, listen. So that's what we got today, and we got Sandman next week. Well, releases
Oh,
tomorrow. So
no, tomorrow.
right, but I'm
Tomorrow,
saying we'll
yeah.
be talking about it next week.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And it's funny because I was talking to a friend of mine, and in a few weeks, man, we're gonna be like Christmas in August, September, really, because we're at the same time on the same weekend. We're gonna have, for at least for a few weeks only, we're going to tail end of She-Hulk, which is now being released on Thursdays. That's not
I heard.
Wednesdays. Wednesdays we get an Andor, so we'll have Andor, then She-Hulk, then on Friday is uh,
Lord of the
Lord of
Rings.
the Rings, then on Sunday is
Game of
Game of
Thrones.
Thrones, all at the same time for a few weeks simultaneously.
That's
That's a
pretty awesome,
monster
man.
lineup right there. That's a monster
That's
like
pretty awesome.
4 or 5 days.
Yeah.
Like shit. That's. I was
Yeah,
like,
for
damn,
anyone who's like,
that's pretty
"What am
cool.
I gonna watch?" We're like, "Wait for it." This is the wait for
Yeah,
it part.
I
Like
mean,
you're
it's
getting
rare.
the
Usually we
what
get
you're
them
waiting
like
for.
one after the other, but now we're getting
Uh huh.
four at least for a couple weeks anyway. I think 2 or 3 weeks, and then from there be 3 shows going up 3 weeks. Still,
Yeah,
at the same simultaneous, I don't think we got that yet. We got them back to back or whatever, but not like that. So that's actually
this is pretty
that's
exciting.
pretty big, man.
Absolutely.
I'm talking like
Yeah,
at least two of the shows that want me three and or big stuff. So, but yeah, Rick. So there we go, man. Them the news, them the
guys,
nuggets.
that has been the show. Thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate all the love and attention, guys. Thanks for suggesting even doing the breakdown for the who we think the Avengers are. We thank you so much for that suggestion. Don't forget, if you like the show, follow us on social media. We are at Nerdsplaning Pod on Instagram. We are at Nerdsplaning _ on Twitter. Don't forget, if you like this show, check us out on the YouTube channel, Latin Nerd Network, where you can watch Nerdsplaining. You can watch the watch list. You can watch Thanos' Choice. Also, if you like the show and you want to listen to the original audio episodes, go to ericdasilva.com, DASILVA.com. All the original audio episodes are there on the landing page. And while you're there, don't forget to pick up my album, Adorably Offensive. I will be going on the road starting next year. I'm working on a couple of other projects, and once we get that done, I will go on the road and I'll let you guys know about those dates as well. And of course, we have other shows we're working on as well. And I promise you, we're working on it. Just a bunch of stuff we have to. It's scheduling and like time, so scheduling. But we are working on those things as well. And guys, if you like it, follow us on this. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, because the more people like and subscribe, the better it is for us. We can do more of these shows for you, guys. As always, I have been Eric Da Silva. This has been Jose Romero. We have been Nerdsplaining, and if you don't know, now you know. Boom.